Hey everybody, this is the Good Trip Bad Trip podcast for Sunday. Always said, yeah, that's better. I'm one of those psycho guys who puts a piece of sellotape on my webcam last time, despite them. This is the Good Trip Bad Trip podcast for Sunday, February 26th. It's been a while. How have you guys been doing? Let me adjust the camera here a little bit. It's been a while. The main reason for that is it's not that I've been super busy or anything, just same old. Main reason is just my laziness. I'm just too lazy to do anything, especially if I don't get paid to do it. If it's like a pro bono work, like this podcast. So hence, it's been a while. But yesterday something really triggered my rage. I wrote a post about it on Instagram and Facebook, and I decided to, continue on ranting here because it really irritates me and enrages me, and I'd like to speak out about it. So it's not global warming, it's not genocide, it's not extinction of some animal species. It's the question of tips, the tips you leave in bars and restaurants and I don't know, taxi drivers. You can tip taxi drivers too. What triggered my rage was yesterday I went to this well-known ruined bar in Budapest. It's called Simplicart, and it's really quite a cheap establishment. Basically, it's for young people, for students, so it's not upscale or anything. And they've added contactless payment terminals on the bar counters. So you can pay cash, you can pay by regular credit card, but if you got PayPass, you can use those terminals. You can just put your card to the terminal for like a few seconds, and it automatically withdraws the money from your account, which in itself is really cool. I am a psycho. I am paranoid, as you've just seen before. I put a piece of sellotape on my webcam to cover it up, but I'm not against. I don't go as far as being against, credit card payments and online bill payments. In this respect, the easier it is, to me, the better. I'm not as important yet for someone to really care where I am or what I'm doing, or if I'm buying a Coca-Cola in a pub in Budapest or a glass of wine in Italy. I'm a firm believer in the fact that just nobody cares, and that's why I love it when paying for stuff gets simpler. So this is an example of just that. Contactless payments. You could pay with your card or your phone. I think even your watch, if you got the settings right. And so this is the good thing. The bad thing about it is that they are automatically adding a 10% tip to your order. So if you're getting Jack Daniels for 1,000 forints, then what you see on the screen is 1,100 forints. And of course, there is an option of changing the tip from 10% to 0, and also there is an option of raising it to 15 or 20%. So essentially, you could change it to 0, but this would require you to actually understand what's going on, to be sober enough to understand how much you're being charged, and to be sober enough to understand that the 10% is added. It's an extra it's an extra. And I think that second time I paid. First time I didn't notice. First time even I didn't notice it. And I'm pretty particular about those things. I don't like to overpay. I'm a firm believer in tips. I will tip if and when I want. I will tip, 10%, 20%, 30%, 50% if I like, and then sometimes I will tip zero. And in case of getting a drink at the bar, there is no real service involved, unless there is. In some cases there is, and you will tip. In some cases there isn't, and you just don't feel like it. You feel like paying the price and just getting the fuck on with your life. But yeah, in this case, they were adding at 10%. I think 80% of the 10% was like a tip, and 20% was some kind of charity. And you could, there was no way to differentiate between the two. So you could go to zero, as I said, 15, 20. So I'm basically this enraged me because. By default, the setting is 10%, and this is what they have in some taxi apps too. That they have a default setting of 10% or 15%, and you got to manually, decrease it and bring it down if you don't want to leave a tip. So, by the way, I didn't press zero, so I paid the 10% tip, which enraged me even more than that I wasn't, decisive enough to actually press that zero there. Because, when you press the zero, the bartender is going to give you that look, and it kind of turns the situation upside down a little bit, if you know what I mean. Because in a regular situation, if you're paying for your drink and instead of 1,000 you give 1,200, then the bartender will give you like an appreciative nod or say thanks or köszönöm in Hungarian or whatever. But in this situation, it's the other way around. If you don't leave a tip, then you're the asshole. That's what I don't like. That's what the situation is in the US. Basically, you're supposed to leave 15, 20% tip everywhere you go, every time, unless it's like McDonald's. And this actually leads to bad service most of the times. I mean, in a lot of American places, service is good, but it's not the good. How should I say it? It's good in a way that people will come up to you and ask you how you're liking your meal, like 3 times throughout the meal, but they don't really care. It's just they do it. It's just like asking how are you. No one cares how you really are. It's just something people say, and it's the same in most American restaurants. They're asking you how you liking your meal just because it's something that they do, and of course, most of the times you say, yeah, it's okay, it's good. And that automatically means that they're entitled to a 15, 20% tip. But in the US, the whole system is built in such a way that most people working in bars and restaurants, they get just minimum wage. And the tips is the bigger part of their salary. It's something that they need to just live. And I was ages ago. I learned it the hard way. The situation about tips. I knew it before going to the US, of course. But before my one of my first trips in an age when I was paying for myself, I thought that okay, you're supposed to leave a tip if you like the service, but if you don't like the service, then. And I had this situation where I was at a bar. I took a girl out to a bar, and the service was non-existent. It wasn't bad. It was just non-existent. We were not sitting at the bar. We were sitting at a table, and we had like a waiter who who was bringing us drinks and taking our orders, and she just brought us the first round of drinks and then disappeared. And the rest of the night, I had to go find her to actually order the drinks. So at the end of the day, the bill came to something like I think $47 or $37, something like that. And I left like a really small tip. So instead of 47, say, I left 50. And so I left the money. It wasn't cash. I left the money, and we went on our way when the evening ended. And this girl actually ran after me. She ran out of the bar, and she kind of confronted me. So she asked me, "Do you know that I live on tips? Do you know that I work for tips?" I said, "Well, I heard about it, yeah, but then you're supposed to get the tips. You're supposed to work, right? You weren't doing anything for me. I went to go get you every time we needed to order something, and I was really not happy." The worst thing about it was that the girl I was with at the time, the girl I was taking out, she actually worked as a waitress in a bar. So she felt for the lady who was under-tipped by me, and she just gave her I don't know, $10 or $20, something. And so I was the real asshole in that situation. And in the US, I've learned that. Sorry, my mouth is dry. In the US, I learned that it's better to just tip the 15% if you're okay, or 20% or more if service was exemplary, and that's it. Just not think about it, not try to analyze. But elsewhere in the world, where the system is structured differently, I'm very much opposed to this mandatory tipping. And this is something that we as consumers have to really fight against, and something that we need to stand up for is our right to, sorry, this ball is making noise, our right to actually tip if and when we want, and the amount that we want. So this, this cannot, we cannot allow this system, this American system to spread throughout the world. There are a lot of good ways about, a lot of good things about the US, and this mandatory system is not one of them. So let us, stand up and fight for our right to tip if and when we want, and the amount that we want. That being said, I don't want to come across as a thrifty guy who leaves like 1% tip and thinks that he's super generous. I will tip a lot. I will tip 10%, 20%, 50% at times if the order is not so big, and I've spent a lot of it. I'm sitting in a coffee shop for like 1.5 hours, and all I have is like a bottle of water and coffee. Then I will, my tip will be substantial percentage-wise, but I want the right to decide. That's all I wanted to say about tips. That's all I wanted to say on this subject. I promised to do a podcast about New Zealand. Went there with Alt and I in last November. Feels like it was ages ago. Just last November, and but I still, first of all, as you can probably see, I'm not that good at structure. So speaking about New Zealand, I would have to, really first of all remember the trip and how it went, and just speak specifically about different points. And secondly, I feel that I just don't know the English language, or for that matter any language, well enough to just express what I'm feeling. be like everything was amazing, extraordinarily beautiful, gloriously wonderful, stunning, amazing, brilliant, beautiful. I just be repeating the same 10 words over and over again. And I don't know. I think some things from that trip will be coming up, and I will be mentioning them in my podcasts. But I so far haven't, brought myself to really think about this experience. And it was indeed a life-changing experience for me, because I'm not a big fan of nature, and I love the seaside. That's basically it. And New Zealand is just turned this whole thing upside down for me. I'm just I even started caring about the environment more after visiting New Zealand. So yeah, I'm not a big things like when you see something as beautiful as this, you wanna protect it, and you understand that it's part of this planet that we live on, and if we don't take care of it, then it'll be gone. I mean, the beauty of it will be gone. It'll probably take a while for us to actually destroy the whole planet, unless we use nukes to do it. But unless we really get it through our head, wrap our head around it, that this planet that we're living on is so beautiful and so vulnerable that it needs our help to remain the way it is. Unless we do that, unless we understand it, and unless we all make an effort to do something differently, then in a short while there'll be nothing left for us to protect. So how did this go? How did this come from talking about tips to encouraging everyone to recycle? I don't know. There is no structure to this, but it's becoming a bit long. I got a timer here, and it's almost 18 minutes. So for those of you who got this far, I'll be doing some more soon. They will remain unstructured and a bit chaotic, but if you're interested, yeah, tune in. And if you have any questions, as always, just message me, comment, or whatever. I'd be happy to have a kind of dialogue. But yeah, if not, then I'll continue anyways. So that was it from me from this edition, February, almost March edition of the Good Trip, Bad Trip podcast. And that's Andre K signing off.